Sonic Movie Show is a weekly show that you can find on a variety of podcast services. Keep up with us by following our Twitter at Sonic Movie Show. I almost legit said, "What's up, Sonic City?" I just can't bring myself to do it.
What's up, Sonic City? Just say it like that. What's up, Raccoon City? You could say. Raccoon Land?
Echidna City.
Echidna City? Was that what you were thinking of? Because you were looking up, and I'm like, what is he
I'm trying to think of not Hedgehog, Tails, or Hedgehog, Fox, or Echidna, but another animal that's closest.
What's up,
to
Eggman
Raccoon.
City? That sounds like something Eggman would do. Make a city, name it after himself.
Yes, half the games, it's what he wants. Unleashed, he turns the world into a theme park. Colors, he makes a planet into a theme park.
That's dope.
It's
Why is
always
it
just him?
Okay, if he has all this money, just make a theme park. Buy some federal lands and build on it, like every other rich person.
Sonic Colors, he just builds this. He builds a planet, makes it a theme park. There is no bad guy plot, so you would assume. Mm-hmm. And Sonic and Tails just go there because they're like, "Oh, Eggman built a giant amusement park. Let's go. I'm sure nothing bad's gonna happen." And it's like,
wow, so they're trying to support him, actually, like, put their, like, past aside, and they're like...
Well, I mean, then he's, like, enslaving 5 other planets to, like, get the shit for it. So, okay. But they didn't know that.
I mean, isn't Disney doing anything different?
Man, I rewatched a bit of that investor call. I watched all the Marvel...
You watched it again?
Because I didn't see the Marvel stuff. I only saw the Star Wars stuff.
Oh.
Because the Game Awards were going on that day. So I went back and I watched the Marvel stuff. And it ends, and then it cuts back to Bob Iger, CEO of Disney. And it is just every single time they try to parody the suave older gentleman CEO that's talking to his people all charismatically.
Like a Bill Gates.
It's this. But Bill Gates looks ugly compared to Bob Iger actually has... Like, this would be what they would show in a movie of, like, oh, you're being conned or something like that. I'm like, motherfuckers, this is right there. I can just see, I know that he's evil. I can just tell. And I don't know anything about him besides my assumptions about who he would be based off of this.
I see the oil on his skin.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to be talking about today in episode 68 of the Sonic Movie Show. My name is Ethan, and with me here today, as always... and as usually is Devin.
Whoa, you don't want to slip down here.
I watched, I saw someone on Twitter say having your host, or the host of a podcast having to make the guests say their own names is like one of the like worst things you can do, and it's so 2017. I'm like, good, I'm glad that we don't do that. I say your name for you.
You want to introduce yourself? What if we did that every episode? Do you want to introduce yourself? Oh, no, Ethan, you go first. You introduce yourself first. Tell everyone. This is the first episode.
An icebreaker for college.
Yeah. We have to assume everyone who listens, there might be a new listener every time, so we have to introduce ourselves every time. We have to go on like a 30-minute speech about where we came from, who we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. My name is Ethan. I like Sonic the Hedgehog. I like his movies.
Plural.
I'm just really happy to... Because actually... So the Archie Comics had a directed DVD about just go down the line. How dare you to challenge my knowledge on Sonic the Hedgehog and his shit?
I'm a Sonic the Hedgehog conservative. I only read the OC. All right, I don't like all that new shit. That shit's trash. What they're doing with Sonic is just blasphemy, if you ask me. And I hope that one day Sega wakes up and realizes its true fan base is in the OC. What's the OC?
It's me, the 40-year-old.
Yeah. Like, what's the OC? Like, the first game. He just only likes the first game.
I like Spring Yard Zone. It's like, I hate that shit. You go, Sonic, go bounce.
Sonic, go big bounce.
Remember when we did that? When we fucking played Sonic 1? And how, like, we were able to do it in one day? And you learn everything we needed to from the game itself in one day.
Pretty much.
If we ever do that again for another game, it's probably not going to be like Sonic 2, and it's going to end up being something where like you got to commit a week to learning this fucking Sonic game. In any case, we're not going to talk about an old Sonic game. We're going to talk about a brand new Sonic game that has been just announced today at the Resident Evil Showcase, today being the 21st of January. The Resident Evil Showcase just happened, and I haven't seen it yet because I was working.
Same.
But I want to. But I heard that there was this big Sonic game announced. It's called... At least I'm just going to say what the title is. I'm not sure if you also heard the title. I'm just going to tell you what it is. So they just finished up making Resident Evil 8, Resident Evil Village, right?
Yeah.
And it has a Roman numeral VIII in Village to make the 8. Last one, the VII was in Resident Evil 7, right? 7, get it? Hidden. Mm-hmm. And I remember watching this interview, and it was the weirdest thing. It was all of Sega, every single employee of Sega, and just the director of this new Resident Evil game. They're talking about, oh man, we needed to make sure that we could make that work in this new Resident Evil game. And since Sonic the Hedgehog is going to be in it, and his world and his characters, we needed perfect idea.
Perfect. That's what they said in the meeting. They're like, this is genius.
Genius. Perfect, they said. Resident Evil Grand Prix. So you have IX in there for 9. And Sonic is going to be racing the villains in a car.
Racing the villains in a car?
No, the villains are in a car. Sonic is running. No, but they didn't announce a Sonic Resident Evil game.
If they did that, like after we do this and like somehow that actually happens.
They didn't announce it yet. So we're going to help them out and give them some starting points on what they could do if they were to make a Resident Evil Sonic game.
This is a very
Sonic Resident Evil game.
This is very similar to one of our previous episodes where we pitched to Sega a new console and also world domination. I don't know if we're going to go down the world domination route again, but
remember when we just copied Fall Guys and said, "Oh, he's Sonic now." Hey,
I will say that out of all
listened to that episode because they put a Sonic costume. I have the top half of that costume.
Oh yeah,
I don't have the bottom half.
I will say though, I think that out of all of our crazy crossover or like, I don't even know what to call them, think tanks, a thought experiment, as some people say in politics. I think I do actually really would love a Sonic Battle Royale. That kind of what we described. I think that would still be cool.
Would work. I'd also like that Sonic movie we made.
Yeah.
The horror one about the fans.
Yes.
I forgot about that until today too, when thinking about this episode. But yeah, so is this, first off, here's one question. Is this a Resident Evil game featuring Sonic the Hedgehog, his cast, his characters, and his world? Or is this a Sonic the Hedgehog game featuring Resident Evil's cast, its characters, and its world? Is this Resident Evil in Sonic or Sonic in Resident Evil? Because it can't be both. It has to be one or the other. These are two very distinctly different ideas.
See, our other ideas have been usually things are in Sonic's world. I think we should change it up and have Sonic in Resident Evil's world, especially since Sonic has the closest thing to like a dark Sonic game, a more mature Sonic game was Shadow the Hedgehog, but like that's like edgy. Like I want something more like grounded, gritty, gross. Maybe
that game was rated E10 because when Shadow dies, he says "damn." I'm not lying. How terrible was that? I do think that as a setting, because they've been starting to do settings now. Resident Evil 7 was that house with the creepy family. Resident Evil 8 is called Village for a reason. I actually think Resident Evil Grand Prix makes a whole lot of sense. Because if you have it in not necessarily just a race course, but a Grand Prix... I feel like we looked this up for some reason a long time ago. It doesn't necessarily have to be 4 races like in Mario Kart. It can just be one.
Well, isn't there isn't there like that
the Monaco Grand Prix? I know of that one.
I was gonna say, isn't there like something in Europe that is like it actually? I know also when I took a trip to Germany, they had signs for like a previous like street race thing, not like a like Fast and Furious, but an actual like. They make an organized thing where like they have actual race cars go through like the city streets and like they close all these streets off for it. So I feel like maybe the setting can be kind of like a zombie breakout, right? But it maybe
in a location that's
in a location that happened to have a racetrack in it, and then that's where the Grand Prix comes from.
Multiple, because it almost like, as we mentioned on another episode, Sonic needs to move fast, and if you have a variety of locales and levels and straightaways, you can build up speed and have it be fun. If we just have a racetrack as your environment, Sonic's going to move too fast through that environment, and it's going to, feel... you know what? My thought process went from that's a bad thing to a positive thing. Resident Evil 1 is in one mansion.
Yeah.
And you get to know that mansion very well. Resident Evil 2 is in, more than just a art museum turned into a police station. It's a little bit more than that, but the first 2/3 of that game is all in there. Maybe getting to know a racetrack as Sonic the Hedgehog actually is a good thing for horror.
No, has anyone yeah, of all the settings to pick from too. Like there's a lot of things you can do with that. A racetrack. Is it a race that has just happened? Was the race happening when the breakout started? There's a lot of different things you can do.
There's there's just abandoned shit, right?
Yeah,
crashed car. A car at the pit stop.
But I'm saying, did it just happen? Did it happen weeks ago? Because, if it just happened, there'd be, it'd be more smoke around. There'd be,
I
some
like it
fires.
To be 2-3 hours old type of thing.
At the end of Resident Evil 2, the movie that we watched.
Well, also Resident Evil 2, the game is, it just happened.
Okay.
And now we're locked in this building.
Does Dead Rising also kind of like that, too? Because he's like a journalist, right? And they hear about this crazy. Okay, so something like that, where either it just happened.
Remember when that mofo was in Marvel vs. Capcom?
Was he in it? That's crazy.
Frank West was in Marvel vs. Capcom. But
damn.
So in the Resident Evil games, because you get to know this area very well, they do that by having you backtrack a lot. You're given dead ends and keys, essentially locks and keys for the most part, but then also a radio voice comes in, or I wouldn't call these missions, but you're given directive, or my ultimate goal is this. I piece together that one stage of it requires me to go here, and at some point I'm going to have to. Okay, now I did this and I did that. Now I can go there to do stage 1 of the all that stuff. So this game needs this as well. We need to have Sonic. I assume we're playing as Sonic, right?
Yeah, that's a good question.
But our character needs to be doing this stuff.
Yeah.
So
my concern is if, with Sonic, in an open world Sonic, not open world, but a more 3D space Sonic, usually that's failed because you can't go too, you were saying earlier, how fast can he go and all that.
Right.
And for Resident Evil, like you said, you need this key card to get in this door, but you can only find in this room, but you have to beat this mini boss. So I feel like if you're going so quick, how is that going to work?
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's a weird combination.
Here's how we do it. Sonic got bitten. But he's a fucking hedgehog, so it doesn't really kill him, and it doesn't turn him into a zombie.
It just slows him down a little bit.
But he can't run. He has to walk or do a trot. He can't run. And then how we can make it cool is that at the end of the game...
how we can make this shit cool. Actually cool.
But in a movie, in a story, in a game, whatever, you hamper limitations on someone, and then when you break free of those limitations, the payoff is really good, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we de-shackle Sonic from this virus, maybe he gets the
T-virus,
antidote, right?
The T-virus.
Now he can run through the set piece that we have for the end of the game. We could do something like that. So it's how fucked up would that be? Sonic is alone in quotes on a fucking race course and he can't run it. And there's zombies.
Okay, so I don't want to get into the plot of this too much.
No, I want to know who got bit, who died.
Well, no, I mean,
Tails a zombie.
I don't know. I just want to say we're building the groundwork here. We're building the setting. We're building the limitations, and that's all good. and we want to talk about, like, if Sonic's to be our main guy, will we have other characters in it? Like you said, will there be Tails? I kind of like Big the Cat as some sort of boss. Because
You want him to be the thing that stomps through the area?
Maybe. I don't know. What do you think? See, I don't know if I'm sold on it. Or Eggman needs a kid. Because Eggman's a human, right?
I think having Eggman be the secret person behind the Umbrella Corporation would be hilarious.
But then we do a twist where he's actually, like in the movie, the Resident Evil 2 movie, the dude didn't mean anything bad by it. He was trying to cure diseases or something, and then he tested on himself and he went crazy and then wound up making the zombie outbreak or something. I don't know.
You never finished Sonic Adventure 2. That was what his grandfather was doing, was trying to cure some woman that Shadow the Hedgehog fell in love with. I am not fucking joking with you. And it's been a while. I'm not remembering the specifics. The Shadow the Hedgehog game goes into it further. But there was some woman from Shadow's past. Eggman's great-grandfather, or just regular grandfather, built the Ark to do something to help her. No lie. So there's already some sympathetic groundwork to be laid there, already precedent in previous Sonic the Hedgehog lore.
And you can just base it off that, yeah. Something like
exactly.
that.
But to go back to the thing that the biggest threat, the thing that makes you shit your pants threat. You know, and you're walking through the building and it's on, and the helicopter you finally doused with water that was on fire. You go to go under it, and then all of a sudden this big thing just pushes it aside, and you see it for the first time organically. Having it be Big the Cat would be kind of funny, but wouldn't be scary. However, what's our locale? It's a race course, right?
Yeah.
Now, there's going to be plenty of buildings. There's going to be plenty of areas that are inside, but for a possible, like, overall of the map is going to be a lot of stuff that's outside. And if we force Sonic to have to be outside a lot, you know what would be fucking scary if you're on a race course and you can't run? Like a fucking car. Someone's in this vehicle, or it's just a big robot or something that is literally too fast for Sonic, and we'll run him over. We'll just, kill him, whatever.
You could even do one of those classic, like, early 2000s, like, tank control things you've seen, or even in action games in general, where the thing is in the further part of the camera, but in the middle, and it's coming towards the screen, and like your character is super tiny, and you have to run away from it, and the controls are super.
Like Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, like Crash Bandicoot, exactly, and it has like obstacles in the way, and like all that stuff that you went by. Maybe you could have made it easier if you knew if you moved this or something, and it won't slow you down.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I hold the fuck on. How come we didn't realize it can be just the fucking truck from the end of City Escape?
But we'd just make it like much more just bloody. Like there's like fucking blood all over it.
It's got like the gnarly ass like metal spikes on the grill.
I think they did that in I think
in Generations,
Day of the Dead or Dawn of the one of the like zombie like early 2000s. I think actually Snyder made it. I forgot what it's called.
Dawn of
the Dead.
You mean Zack Snyder? Zack Snyder.
Yes, Zack Snyder made this one. Dawn of the Dead, and I believe at the end of the movie, or closer to the end of the movie, they make a bus and they just deck it out in spikes and shit, like something like that, where it just is a killing. Maybe it's a survivor. But they see Sonic and they're like, "What the fuck is that?" There's been zombies. Now there's a blue hedgehog. I don't know what that is. It must die.
See, I do like the idea that, again, just going back to Sonic Adventure 2 City Escape, we don't even know if there was someone driving that truck. Who knows?
That's what I'm saying. But that, like, there's many possibilities that could be. That could be Big the Cat. It could be Eggman. It could be Tails. Tails was supposed to be an innovator.
I think it would be cool. If Sonic leaves a building and he's got to just trot on down a quarter mile along the track to get to this other building or something.
Yeah.
And halfway on his trek, he just sees this truck turn the corner.
Oh.
The lights turn on. The lights were off. Now they turn on.
Oh, it's nighttime too.
And now it's... Oh, yeah, I assumed it's nighttime if it's a zombie thing. And now it's chasing him. And he obviously can't outrun this truck because he's got the T-virus, you know what I mean? And so if you play it correctly, you just barely, barely make it, that kind of thing. And I want it. It has to be the fucking gun truck, the GUN, Government United Nations, whatever the fuck.
Can it say gun and then the U also? It goes down and it says umbrella.
Perfect, right?
That they were associated with each other the entire time.
That's what we do. We retcon Sonic Adventure 2. So that actually it takes place in the same universe as fucking Raccoon City and Leon Kennedy.
Like, this is all like real
and
shit.
Chris Redfield.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is the exact same universe. Gun was Umbrella. It was just a fucking shell. And this truck is their fucking big weapon.
one of their weapons. Yes.
Truck.
Yeah. Because we saw those missiles. Those missiles could have spread the T virus in the atmosphere and made it airborne. Maybe that's what he's trying to stop. Maybe one of the gun near the Grand Prix. There's a underground missile site, a gun missile site that is being prepared to shoot in the atmosphere. Because like once again in Raccoon City, it was just one area, right? They're trying to quarantine it. Maybe here they're like, this is a second attempt, or it was like a terrorist attack. Something happened, right? And they're trying to do it in an atmosphere. They're trying to do it in more than just one city. And Sonic hears about this and thinks it's Eggman. And then he goes on this crazy journey, but then he's too late or something. Like the breakout.
It's no longer about like stopping Eggman. It's about making sure he gets out alive.
Yeah.
Now his priorities change.
Yeah.
Like we get to learn just how fucking selfish this hog is. This fucking hedgehog. So he's all in it for the glory. As soon as you take away his ability to run fast, he doesn't give a shit about saving people because he's useless now. He hates himself now. He can't take glory if he's not special now.
Well, if no one's there to see it, there is no glory. Exactly. There's no glory.
Exactly. He's alone where he will die. And actually, this is how we kill Sonic the Hedgehog.
You want Sonic to die in this?
No, I'm kidding.
Okay, so we're doing more of the missiles already launched kind of thing. Or maybe we discover that. Maybe he get like the beginning of the movie.
He finds it on a computer or something halfway through, right?
Yeah, and he's like, oh no. Because hold up. So remember when he blows up the ship, right? In Sonic Adventure 2. The Ark.
Blows up the ship.
The Ark there, right? Doesn't that thing blow up? And then he goes back home, talks to the president.
You never beat it. And I'm trying to remember. I do think the whole thing does explode.
Okay, so when he comes, maybe we retcon in there that like while he was there, he found a document of Umbrella, and he's like, "What is this?" And then somehow Tails maybe researches it more. He's like, "Oh, you need to go to this city because I think there's a missile site, a gun missile site, and I think there's a group.
They're gonna launch it.
They're gonna launch it. You need to stop it." And like something happens. This is like in the first 5 minutes of the game. Something happens. And he wakes up in a hospital or something. I don't know. He wakes up like on the street. He's bitten. Maybe I don't know. Someone saved him and then they died.
So he flies in with Tails on the plane that they always have together. Little like the propeller plane. I forget what you call the one with like the wing that with the
things.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
He's always flying this plane, right? And a gust of wind, something.
A helicopter crashes into him.
No, not something.
Not crashes into him, but like
not that bad.
But then no, I'm saying like it makes them mess up.
Something happens, but we don't know that anything is zombie related or a threat. Something just happens, and Sonic falls off, and we see as the player, maybe Sonic does too a bit. Tails kind of careening with the thing, and he goes down somewhere. Sonic then wakes up in the city, bitten, freshly. Maybe we even see the zombie get away or something. We know this for a fact. We see it, right? And he says, "Oh shit, everything's going on." Now he has Tails' whereabouts are unknown, uncertain, and he has that also as well as motivation to get through. Because if Sonic is selfish, he's not going to be selfish for Tails' sake. So Sonic could just say, "Fuck it, I'll just leave. There's nothing I can do."
Yeah.
But he's got to find Tails before he leaves.
Yeah. And then in the process, somewhere down the road, he discovers the missiles already went off when our plane went down or something. It has to be some sort of accident. But the thing is, like, if the missiles don't... Because the missiles what spreads it, right? Or is there another... Does it spread before the missiles go? I feel like the missiles have to go off. But he doesn't know about it. Maybe that's what wakes him up.
Okay.
the explosion, but he's like
the missile. They fly over a secret missile launch pad. The ground opens up like a hatch. Regular forest, no trees in this particular area. Opens up, missile whoosh, as they fly by. But it happens so fast that you don't necessarily, as an audience member, see just a rocket going up past them. But it throws Tails' like radar on his plane off or something, and he's got to get out of the way, and they don't really see something just moved right underneath us or something, and then that makes him crash. And then you learn, later on, like you said, that was the missile, and then that's why I'm fucking about to die.
So does he even need to get bitten if we make it airborne? Maybe he wakes up and he's like, I can't run fast. Like, what's going on? And like that's part of like the discovery too. And then that's where you realize, everyone has this virus. Only certain people are immune to it. Maybe not. Are we seeing? I don't know. Are we finding other survivors? I feel like if we're doing it airborne, there wouldn't be. Unless there's people who are just immune.
Does Sonic have a gun?
I think he resorts to one. Zombies? I think he has to resort to one. Maybe he at first he's like, I don't need this, but then he realizes he can't outrun. He can't
spin dash.
He can't outrun these zombies, so he picks up an M4 from a police.
Well, it's not going to be a straight up M4. It's going to be like a pistol and your standard little.
Here's the thing with airborne too is would there be because usually in these zombie movies too no one knows what's happening, so they send the National Guard in, right? So maybe that's how he gets a weapon is he wakes up and the National Guard are also coming in with gas masks and shit.
We need to have stronger zombies that have guns at some point. You always kind of need the one that can actually fight back.
Like I said, it doesn't even have to be zombies. They could just be actual, just trained military of some sort. That's just real tough to beat. Or maybe that's the stealth part.
Instead of the National Guard, it's a gun coming to clean it up. Just like they would be Umbrella Corp shit coming to clean it up. Well, Gun is Umbrella Corporation, but we don't know that. We just see Gun is coming. Gun has come to clean up.
Yeah, there has to be at some point he finds a paperwork where it just says Gun and then it says down the U. It just says Umbrella. It's or it folds out. It's
exactly a piece of paper. Whoosh, it folds down.
He's like, oh my god! It's just that's the big reveal.
Both these people were bad, and I guess they were the same. But that doesn't change.
He's like, they must have did it for tax reasons. I don't know.
Exactly. Actually, this is kind of better because instead of two giant evil companies, it's just one.
It makes it easy.
Exactly. Maybe that's why they were trying to trick us and making us think that they were. Yes. We also need. We need a sexy spy lady to mysteriously entice Sonic into certain directions for getting information, you know what I mean, or anything that needs to be backstabbed by this woman or man.
Well, you have what's her name there?
Amy Rose.
You have Amy Rose.
Rouge the Bat.
Rouge the Bat is, I guess, kind of like that in Sonic Adventure 2. Who's to say that she was undercover the entire time? Maybe that's why she wanted the Chaos Emeralds, because she was trying to stop it. The Chaos Emeralds is the T-Virus. Or it's a cure for the T-Virus.
We need the Chaos Emeralds in this game. Now they can't just be here.
No, it's just
maybe they just find there's just one here, and that's what they were using.
A shard of it.
They were using one of them for something, right?
Yeah.
There's a research lab underneath the Grand Prix.
Of course.
There's one though. I don't want you go around and there's one in each building. Get all seven. Supersonic is how he cures himself. The Chaos Emeralds. What do the Chaos Emeralds even do? Are they just
power? I think it's just power. That's what I'm saying. What if this is whoever was researching it, and we still don't know if it's Robotnik or Robotnik's dead. I don't know, or something. Whatever. Someone down the line knew about this Chaos Emeralds and was trying to make a virus to cure everything, because it's power. Power should cure cancer. Power should cure any other diseases or hardships for people, right? So I feel like that's kind of the route we're going, but it's also too much of it for humans, or too much of it for any species.
Here's the wrinkle. Here's how we make the tragic become bad. Robotnik is trying to do something good for once in his life. He's done a whole lot of bad. He blew up half the moon.
Couldn't the moon also appear at night at some point and it's half gone?
It's always a crescent. It's always a
maybe our Grand Prix is kind of flooded a little bit. Like maybe it's near a lake or something. Somewhere.
But hold on. Yeah. He's blown up the moon, half of it. He's tried to make him to enslave countries, and he does all this shit. He one time tried to kill Sonic by making a robot version of him called Metal Sonic that was faster than him. We watched that in the Sonic OVA, remember?
Yes.
He's done a whole lot of stuff, and he's trying to atone by curing cancer. Straight up curing cancer. With this experimental vaccine. It's not ready yet, but he's working on it. Maybe it's in secret, maybe it's not. Not everyone appreciates this. And some people are just born into this world angry and bitter. And that's Metal Sonic, who hates Robotnik and hates people, organic life forms, and he fucks with this vaccine, this cure, and makes it a virus to kill off organic life forms.
Wow.
So our real villain isn't Eggman. It's secretly Metal Sonic, which I feel like is like a quarter of the Sonic games.
Doesn't Metal Sonic get like blown up in Sonic Adventure 2?
No.
Okay.
He's the villain in Sonic.
So are we
Hero,
still doing, because this is a plot hole here, are we still doing that as soon as Sonic blows up that ship, the Ark, and comes back, all these events are happening? Because
this could be years. I don't know. How old is Sonic? Can it be years later?
He's like 5. I don't know.
Right? I don't even know how old he is, actually. Is he?
I'm always imagining him as like a 14-year-old, to be honest.
Right?
But like with nothing else to do. He just knows everything because he's nothing else to do.
But he sounds like a 22-year-old.
Yes. But he's definitely, like, immature as fuck.
Yes. I mean, the fucking theme song, or, like, credit song to Sonic Adventure 2 is basically him winking off that he is so fucking cool. It doesn't matter who's wrong and who's right type of shit. Like, that's one of the lines.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter as long as you do, like, it's so, like, just self-wink type of, and that's exactly what Sonic is. And now he's got to fucking learn how to be sacrificial for the greater good. He can't let Tails die. He's got to stop this. So,
but that's like the whole tragedy too, is that it's already too late. Is there any way like he succeeds at the end of this? Like, what is the end goal besides finding Tails? Or do they get out and they realize like the whole world is fucked?
This can be one of those stories where 2/3, your first and second act are combined. The story is, I just need to find Tails and get out. And then right when the third act begins, after he's found Tails, new wrinkle in, we can do something. We can stop this, or, you know what I mean?
This is our only chance or something.
Yeah. We can't stop now. We gotta if we take the Chaos Emerald out of this machine and get it to Eggman, he can easily make a cure for the T virus. Not for cancer yet, but for the T virus if he does this, but he needs the Chaos Emerald.
Maybe Eggman's locked up or something.
He's on the... I'm trying to think, was the Ark completely blown up? I don't remember.
Well, I'm saying if we're kind of ditching that, or kind of like...
But I like the idea if he's stuck in like a spaceship and he can't come down or something like that.
But then we're getting too far away from like our setting, though. Like if we're starting to go into space and...
Well, again, this is his lab where he made it, so it would make sense he could just do it here. So then
Metal Sonic turned on him and locked him up or something.
Yeah.
Or he made him into something that that really humbles him. Like he puts his brain in like a... Because Metal Sonic was given a will without his choice, so he put, like, in some weird twisted way, he put Eggman's brain into a machine, his consciousness stuck in a machine to do his bidding forever. Like, he doesn't have a physical form. He's just like an AI or something.
Jesus. I do like the idea of, on our journey to save Tails, shortly before we find Tails, wherever he may be, we do have to set Eggman free. And regardless of if Sonic knows his intentions or anything, like, I actually do think in this version of this story, Eggman is a good guy. He's trying to be a good guy. This is not his I don't want to say not his problem, not his fault. That's what I mean. He needs to set Eggman free so that he can blah blah blah, and he does so, right? And then when Sonic and Tails get together, that's when Eggman said, "We can stop this, but you need to give me this Chaos Emerald." Oh my God, he's just trying to trick us to get the Chaos Emerald.
I kind of want to go
all that
I
shit.
think that could work, but I kind of like my idea with the AI. But he
could just be stuck in a computer. That's
I'm
locked.
saying a thumb drive. He gets put in the thumb drive to take him out of the big device that he's in, like in the laboratory or something. They put him on the thumb drive, and they can plug into like a walkie-talkie or of some sort, and that's how Sonic learns more stuff. And like Sonic maybe is hesitant to like trust Eggman, or you can even just call him Robotnik. Maybe if we kind of ditch the whole like Sonic Adventure 2 storyline, and like Robotnik is just it's like an Easter egg that way. It's more of just like, you know who he is, but you're expecting him to turn on you, and he never does.
That is a funny joke where Sonic stops calling him Eggman because he's no longer shaped like an egg, and he calls him Robotnik because he's a fucking machine now.
Yeah, he's more man than machine, or more machine than man. I kind of like that, where it's like he gets, or maybe he brings the thumb drive to Tails, and Tails has some sort of device that gives him, and then that's when he tells him, "You guys can't leave. There's only you guys are the only ones who can stop this from getting worse."
We do need to hear from Eggman though before we find Tails.
He gets to like a big computer, and Eggman is in like a weird, like it's not his physical form, so he talks in a very AI like, but it's still him. There's some personality there. And he talks to Sonic, and he begs Sonic to like save him, and then Sonic is like, "Fine, I'll do it." Like he's like, "I can help you get out of here," or something. But then the caveat is, "Oh, I'll let you get out of here once you stop this from getting worse." Because maybe the atmosphere, it slowly expand the atmosphere. He could shoot another missile up that
we need to get the antidotes, Chaos Emerald, which Metal Sonic has, back here to then make a quick, easy antidote. He's according to the Sonic Adventure 2 battle for Nintendo GameCube's manual, Eggman has an IQ of 300. Now, we all know IQ is fake, and it's actually a racist way of identifying value out of people. But it's a good indicator in this fantasy world that Eggman is extremely smart. He is so smart that he's able to find all the flaws in Metal Sonic's... He's been trapped in this computer, and he could just analyze it while he's in there, and he's like, "Oh, I can very easily make an easy antidote. Like, this is child's play. We just need the Chaos Emerald to do so." And so then our third act is trying to get it from Metal Sonic.
And bringing it back to this location that you find Eggman at. Maybe like halfway through the game.
Exactly.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
So now, two questions. As I mentioned earlier, it'd be cool if for our final set piece, we deshackle Sonic from his T-Virus so he can run. Perfect. The final boss is Metal Sonic, who can obviously go real fast. You know, he kind of has that jetpack thing, and he kind of like just flies, right? And so we race him through the fucking Grand Prix that we've been slowly exploring through this whole fucking time. Now you get to run through it for the fate of the fucking world.
Can he?
Number one. But, and like, it'll be very on rails because you're not...
Well, I was going to say, my idea with that is, so like, throughout the game, you're going through like burned cars or like debris, whatever it is. There's a lot of obstacles on the racetrack. You can maybe cross the racetrack in a couple different areas, but there's like a bridge that fell on it, so you can't cross it. When you're Supersonic, there's like an energy shield, so like all that shit gets blown away.
Pushes it all.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
That'd be great, and it would be very on railsy because you can't expect. You know, none of the gameplay in this segment is what was done before throughout the.
It's just going to be like press one button to like shoot lasers or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be easy. It's just got to feel fun and like, holy shit, I'm just. You know what I mean? It's going to feel good. That's
from
all
being like a tank controls to just like God.
Which then gets me to that point. Our regular gameplay, what's that going to be? Is it just going to be Resident Evil?
I kind of want it to be. Just it's Sonic.
Like, I'm not lying.
It's like
I'm not.
It's Resident Evil 4 with us like just it's Sonic. Like they just put it. We could even steal the assets. Be like, just put a Sonic like thing on him. Just put a mod. Just mod him into Sonic, please. And yeah, it's a third-person tank controls. Maybe like he just goes a little bit quicker than you maybe would in.
Yeah. He can trot, but like because he's got the truck and truck, right? He's got to have some sort of feeling like you could maybe make it, and you do barely kind of feeling. But like it's not going to be advantageous for you to do so in close quarter buildings. You trot around a corner, you get grabbed, right? It's very by a zombie that you weren't expecting. You gotta go to take it slow. You gotta take it slow. Gotta take it slow. This isn't Sonic the Hedgehog anymore. This is Resident Evil 9. You know what I mean? You gotta play it like a Resident Evil game. It just happens to start.
The only like Sonic part is just like the very end. Like if you're really into Sonic, but not Resident Evil. Yeah. But if the payoff is as good as it sounds, it'll be worth it. It kind of reminds me of like Devil May Cry, the first one, which isn't like Resident Evil. Like it's an action-packed game, but the very ending, you're a god, pretty much.
Did you know about Devil May Cry was originally supposed to be Resident Evil 4?
Look at that.
What's his name?
Dante.
Kamiya. Kamiya is the director and creator of Devil May Cry. He was told to make a new Resident Evil game, and he was making that, and it was called Resident Evil 4. But Capcom was like, well, this doesn't actually look anything like Resident Evil, so let's just call it something else. That was a Resident Evil game.
That makes a lot of sense, though, like aesthetically.
It takes place in one building, in a castle or whatever
it
was.
It's like a spooky castle on an island somewhere. Yeah.
It has the cameras in the corner view.
That game is so good.
There's no third person like control stick.
Now I want to go and just play that again. I have to go get.
Actually, I have the HD collection for PS3.
Shit.
But I mean, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition is on PS5, and I want to get that.
Yeah,
it has 120 frame per second support, and I want to get 120 hertz TV this year. We actually talked about why that would be good for Sonic the Hedgehog on a previous episode.
Yes.
But yeah. So okay, now here's my question. And this is like an onion, right? We're pulling the layers back. So as I think about one big thing, I happen to notice another layer underneath. Number one, is this just called Resident Evil Grand Prix? And nothing else indicates that it's Sonic the Hedgehog. And number two, if so, are we actually going to tell anyone that Sonic's in this game?
And what would the advertising? Because in all the advertising for like Village and stuff, like they make it clear who the characters are in the game. So at some point they'd be like, oh yeah, Amy Rose is in this, or Rogue or whatever her name is. Tails is in this. There's a robot.
Are we going to kill any Sonic characters? Are we going to find that Knuckles is one of the zombies?
Maybe it's the boss he fights to find Robotnik. Like it's guarding Robotnik.
That's how he knows it's really fucked up.
Like it's like Knuckles enhanced in some way, like a zombified enhanced, kind of like what's his name in Resident Evil 2, the big guy,
yeah, Mr. X,
Mr. K. It's Knuckles.
And like that doesn't make any sense because Knuckles doesn't have a hard K sound.
That's fine. I want there to like be like right before you get into that fight, like there's like a save room, but there's a note there, and you read it, and it's like, "Beware of Mr. K," and you're like, "Who the fuck is Mr. K?" And it's like it's Knuckles.
Okay, we have that right. Beware of Mr. K. A few of those types of help, no, it's Mr. K. Type of like, you found this radio, you blah, blah, all this kind of stuff, right? The whole time, every now and then, this fucking truck comes out of nowhere and tries to run you over.
Uh-huh.
We no longer see the truck for the second half of the game because that's when we see Robotnik. And we fight Mr. K, Knuckles. He crashes. He's driving the truck. We don't know this until he crashes the truck into the building and steps out and fights you.
Fuck yeah, that's so cool. He has he has to have like a weapon that's like really cool. Like imagine
it's fucking Knuckles. It's his name.
I mean, like, he has to have a gun first, and then, like, maybe you disarm him in some way, then you...
I like the idea of him just being strong enough
to
brute. Rip building, like, parts of the wall and, like, just try to hit you or throw them at you.
And then what will Metal Sonic be?
Sonic is... Okay, so here we go. Sonic is hampered. He can't be... he's not as strong as he can be, right? But Knuckles isn't that, right? If anything, this has made him even more strong. He's Knuckles enhanced. He's Mr. K-E. Right? And Metal Sonic's whole thing is like, well, what's even better than enhanced organic life form? It's robots, me. It's Mr. Metal.
Mr. Metal. Everyone has a Mr. in front of them. Exactly. Mr. Robotnik.
Exactly. I also do want, as a special shout out to something that you mentioned earlier, in a not necessarily hidden room, but at least what I kind of remember from some of these games, there's always like there's always unnecessary rooms, right? That you don't need to go into for your main path. There might be some more ammo in there or something like that. We're going to have a locked room with a weird key, and getting the key is like a big side quest. It's unnecessary. You know what I mean? This is kind of just like for this Easter egg, and you open it up, and it's zombified Big the Cat.
And
there's your Big the Cat. And he's just, you just shoot him and he's dead. But it's like
a little,
it's like an Easter. It's like a sad Easter egg.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just Knuckles and Tails.
Yeah, it can't be like a room where like it's some sort of like experiments went down, and then you realize it's Big the Cat. Kind of like how in Alien 4, where Ripley goes in that one room and there's like all the deformed versions. Yeah. There's a bunch of deformed Big the Cats, and then there's like one that like was the original one or something, and you can see there's all these tubes in him, and he's like, kill me.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. And this is also like a side quest. Like it's not necessarily going to be, but I also do like the idea of him being a zombie and just stuck in one of those giant meat hooks.
Oh my god!
You go inside and it's cold. You just see like just Big that Cat just hanging. It's like hooked onto his back, and he's a zombie.
We could combine those ideas. Have him on the meat hook with a bunch of like test tubes and stuff on him, like sucking his blood. I don't know. And he's like, he's a zombie, but there's a cut scene where like it peers into his eyes, and you can tell that there's still a little bit part of him that's there. And Sonic's like, I know what I have to do, and like you shoot him in the head or something, and then take him out of his misery. And then all the other like deformed versions of him that are in this lab die too.
They're not alive, yeah.
Yeah, there's like in test tubes, umbilical cords or something. They're all like children or of some sort of him.
I think we have a pretty solid game, all things considered.
I want to play it. Every time we make something, I actually like really want to play it. I want this to exist.
I think we have this whole thing set up. We're just titling it Resident Evil Grand Prix.
Does it all take place in one night, by the way? Like, is that like the whole idea?
Yeah.
Can the ending be...
Might as well be.
Day? Like dawn? Sure. Or, right, yeah, dawn. I was going to say, I was getting mixed up.
You get dawn and day mixed up?
No, dawn and dusk. Like, I always switch them sometimes. So, yeah, like dawn will be like the beginning of the game, or the ending of the game. I do like the idea that it's all one night.
Oh yeah, because no, but I think we have everything lined up good. I think this is a solid game. I think it's good. When is it coming out, and what platform?
Can it come out for our Sega? I forgot what it's going to be called again.
I forget what it was called.
Our Sega console as an exclusive first, and then later on other consoles.
I think it was just called the Sega Super Remastered.
Something like that, yeah.
Because everything was called Super Remastered. Remember that was our pitch?
Yeah.
You could put this game on other platforms, but our version has to be... Every game has to end with Super Remastered in it.
So it's Resident Evil...
Remember when we bought GameStop and called it GameStop Super Remastered? This has to be... If it's being put on that system, it has to be called Resident Evil 9 or Resident Evil Grand Prix Super Remastered.
That sounds so cool. And like you said, like the IX is part of the pre. So like if you won't see it at first, so you just see Resident Evil Grand Prix Super Remastered. There might be someone out there who's like, I guess this is a remake.
Jesus.
Or a remaster.
I've had a lot of fun. This has been a good episode of the Sonic Movie Show, a weekly show that we do every week on this podcast. I'm tired. You can find this podcast on a variety of podcast services such as Spotify is a big one, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Stitcher Radio, Deezer, which I blocked in Google email spam, as well as on a couple others. But the big place that you can reach us is on Twitter. The show can be reached at Sonic Movie Show. I am Ethan. I'm on Twitter at Ethan Absolutely, and Devin is on Twitter at CURSONA YouTube. Let us know what you would think about Sonic in Resident Evil 9, aka Resident Evil Grand Prix Super Remastered. Is this a stupid idea? Is this a good idea?
Is this the best idea we've had, or the worst idea we've had?
It's an idea we've had. That's true. And we will find you next time on the Sonic Movie Show. Goodbye.